Well, the number one player in the 2024 class has decommitted from the Ohio State University, and all eyes are on this. And we really have to start asking ourselves what's going on in this recruitment and where is he potentially going to land. Now, before we get into it, please go ahead, hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Where do you guys think Dylan Raiola lands, and do you think a dark horse is going to emerge out of the ashes to try to land Dylan Raiola? So, with no new news, Dylan Raiola this morning has announced of his decommitment from the Ohio State University, and this is huge news. The number one player in the 2024 class, the number one player in the country, the number one quarterback has a perfect composite score ranking. This is something that everybody's got to start keeping their eyes on, because when I look at Raiola's commitment, he was not necessarily looking at just going anywhere or going to the big schools. He was looking at going to places like Nebraska, where Donovan Raiola and Mark Whipple were recruiting him. You had him looking at Oregon, where Kenny Dillingham was. Where does Kenny Dillingham coach now? He is the head coach of Arizona State University. Where is Dylan Raiola from? Dylan Raiola is from Chandler, Arizona. And you can bet your bottom dollar that Kenny Dillingham is going to do everything he can to keep Dylan Raiola in the state. But I also want to point this out because I think this is very important to note and to keep an eye on. Dylan Raiola did take an unofficial visit to Nebraska on October 29th after he had been committed to the Buckeyes since April 18th. So the question here is he potentially looking at going to Nebraska after the regime change with Matt Rule? Is he potentially looking at staying in-state home with Arizona State, which we've talked about that in a previous video of how important it is for Arizona and Arizona State to be able to keep their kids at home and not let them go somewhere else, because Dylan Raiola is not the only top-tier player in this class in the state of Arizona that they need to be able to try to keep home. So, with all of that being said, this is definitely not the news that we expected to receive on December 17th at 11 o'clock in the morning. Definitely not something we expected to see. But we got the news, and we have to talk about it. So go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Does Dylan Raiola end up going somewhere else, or does he end up recommitting to the University of Ohio State? The other huge implications I think that we have to talk about for this: the 5-star wide receiver, the number 2 overall player in the country, Jeremiah Smith, just committed to Ohio State University the other day. So you need to be watching out for that, because he might not stay there. So go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what y'all think.